All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back to our coverage here at Super Bowl 59 for NFL Alumni. I'm Bram Weinstein. We're presented by Pacera Better is Possible, and I'm here with Aaron Popkey, who's the Director of Public Affairs for the Green Bay Packers, and the countdown for you is on, not to the Super Bowl, but to the draft, which will be held in Green Bay, Wisconsin this year.
Yes, we are really excited to be hosting the draft. It's been a long process, as you're probably familiar with. You start out years in advance, at least expressing your interest. And the draft in its current form goes back to Chicago, 15 and 16, and the NFL put out a note right away, hey, we're gonna bring this on the road, as we all thought it would after seeing the success in Chicago. So we expressed our interest, and then it was just working with the NFL each year and letting them know we're interested. We visited the other drafts. I'm part of our core team. I went to Philadelphia when the draft was there to learn more about it, and right away we knew that we had the beautiful campus for it. And then just work with the NFL to convince them we've got all the other pieces that it needs as well. So going back several years to now, less than 80 days out, it's a whirlwind.
It's a different market, obviously, than being in one of the major cities. How have you thought about accommodating all the fans that are going to show up to Green Bay, Wisconsin?
For Green Bay, yes, it's the smallest market. The most unique market in all of pro sports, and we really leaned into the history and tradition that Green Bay has, and the NFL will as well, just telling that story. I mean, having the draft in Green Bay goes back to the roots of the NFL, so there's going to be some neat storylines there that I think people will appreciate. And football fans, we've got Packer fans all over, but we hear this a lot, we're often, if we're not a favorite team of someone, we're their second favorite team, just because of the unique structure of our club. So we know we've got a lot of appeal that way. And the draft will be, we think, like 3 days of a Packers game in a row. We're thinking 250,000 people over the course of those days. So we're used to seeing 80,000 people come to that campus. And even more than that, when we go back to the kickoff concert after our last Super Bowl in 2011, we had the concert that went with it and had well over 100,000 people on site. So we know we can accommodate the people. We've got a really good plan, ingress, egress, all those things that you see. And then hotels were a big question mark, and we can accommodate everybody that the NFL needed to get in, be it the workers, staffing, the prospects that come in. We've got that handled, and we've got enough left over to accommodate some fans. But then, like a Packers weekend, as we get, the Fox Valley, Appleton, the Lakeshore, even Milwaukee, the northern parts of Milwaukee is an hour and a half. So that's an easy drive in. And what's nice about that is it's going to impact the whole state, because people will stay in other areas of the state, drive into Green Bay, and that'll work out really nicely for everybody.
Yeah, as a voice of a team, I tell everybody when it's on the schedule that our team is going to Green Bay, it feels like a pilgrimage, if you can get into the stadium for the game in its own right. And I think this one feels kind of that way too, that there's almost like an NFL fan pilgrimage that's going to occur this spring to Green Bay, see the roots of the sport.
Yeah, we see that during the season, as you mentioned, and one of my favorite pastimes, if you will, is walking through the atrium on a Friday afternoon or Saturday at Lambeau Field, and you overhear somebody say, oh, it's my first time, I'm finally here, and then I'll stop and get their story, and they talk about it that way, that they're coming to the Mecca, they've always wanted to come to Lambeau. We see that during the season, and we feel it's going to be very similar with the draft. For whatever reason, maybe people can't get in during the season. The draft is a free event. They're going to build a little spring weekend out of it to come to Green Bay, see Lambeau Field. They can check that box, see our Hall of Fame, see the stadium, but also take in the event that is really energy-filled with thousands of Packers, and NFL fans, celebrating the off-season and what the hope is for the upcoming season. As everyone says, everyone's undefeated in April.
They are. Since we're dealing with NFL alumni, I wonder if you have any specific kind of perspective of what it means to have been a player for the Green Bay Packers. It's a special experience for anybody to have taken part and played in this league, but I think it must be uniquely different to be part of that alumni group.
Yeah, I think certainly we've got tremendous appreciation for our alumni, and we've got our storied alumni that go back to the Lombardi years and his 5 championships in 7 years. A handful of those players are still with us, and they still come to Green Bay, so it's great to get their perspective. and we remain really involved with our alumni, and all of them speak to how the unique franchise that Green Bay is. Everybody's got great connections with their fans, but I think with our ownership and our smaller community, players feel like it's even a little more connected to the fans. So I hear that this past year was my 32nd with the club, so I go back and have great memories and relationships with a lot of our alumni. And to a guy, they speak to that. Just like, yeah, the fans in Green Bay, it's a little more unique. I've played with other clubs, but Green Bay is just a little different, a little more special. And we really celebrate that with our alumni. We've got, all clubs do a great job. We feel we do one of the best, just staying connected. We bring them back during the season. We feature alumni every game weekend. We have an alumni weekend with more than 50 guys that come back. We actually developed a suite in Lambeau Field that is an alumni suite. It's a larger suite. We've got a deck off of it. Every game we've got a lot of alumni back, and we involve them in a lot of our events. We do a tailgate tour during the off season. We always invite alumni on that goes out across the state. So our player relations team, Kathy and Nathaniel, they do a great job making sure the guys are connected, lots of opportunities. It's really exciting to have them back and to see the energy and appreciation they have connecting with the fans and all the great causes too.
Yeah, it's been a few years, but Lambeau's beautifully renovated for those who haven't been able to chance to see it. Going to a game is one experience. This is a very different one. What do you think fans who come to that area are going to learn about Green Bay, Wisconsin when they show up for the draft?
Well, I think the Midwest nice of all our people will come out. We know the community is really excited about all the visitors coming in. We see that certainly for every Packers game, but this will be a bigger crowd that's coming maybe for the first time. I think our community will be very welcoming. I think just the stadium and the aura that it has and that connection to the history of the league, I think is what they'll appreciate. And what they see on TV just with the stadium in that residential area, as they arrive and walk around, and maybe they'll park, if they're driving in, they'll park a few blocks away in somebody's front yard and walk to the draft. So I think there's a lot of things like that. And Greater Green Bay's got a lot to experience too. And Packers Heritage Trail, which celebrates the beginning of the team, going back to the 20s, is a walkable trail downtown. So fans will be able to take that in. It's going to be a neat weekend for them.
Yeah, it is. Aaron Popkey, great to see you here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.